I remember using Rinoa's 7-star form a lot, having fun with Tornado but always disappointed that this Angelo never showed up. So obviously you can tell how excited I am that the dog gets a CG Limit Burst. Rinoa and Angelo's Trustmaster reward is a materia that can only be equipped by units from Final Fantasy VIII. It's an amazing materia, giving 500 flat magic and a double killer against all species. But of course, it can only be equipped onto units from Final Fantasy VIII. Their Super Trustmaster reward is a magic throwing weapon. It has really high magic, Bird and Bug Killer Plus, and when equipped onto a Rinoa, gives 500 extra magic. Unfortunately, that last effect isn't stackable. Onto their active abilities. Angelo can actually cast 4 cool magic spells and Gravaga. The 4 cool spells can all be awakened further, Tornado and Quake especially, as those can go up to +3. I Can Fight If I'm With You can be used once per battle. It boosts Rinoa's magic by 300%, her dark damage by 30%, her limit burst damage by 200%, and fills her limit burst gauge if it's at max level. Invincible Moon will grant your team a 50% physical and magical mitigation buff, but only for 1 turn. Meteor deals non-elemental magic damage. Somehow, you can imbue it so you have a water meteor coming down. Passives. But for Trustmaster reward or Super Trustmaster reward equipped, Rinoa gets the ability to activate a field effect that lowers dark resistance by 30% when using Diabolos. She has several strong killers, beasts, birds, humans, and dragons, and meets half the cap to limit burst damage. She prefers to carry 2 weapons, so that chain limit boost isn't dependent on doing so. If she gets hit, she can counter by restoring a fraction of her HP and MP, which is cool if she actually survives. Her normal attack has been changed to Knight's Devotion, which actually self-chains. At EX +2, she gets Warring Spirit, and at EX +3, she gets 500 magic. Onto their Limit Burst. It's a self-chaining non-elemental attack that deals magic damage, meaning you can imbue it if you want. Time to change forms. Rinoa's Brave Shift has a 4-turn duration and a 4-turn cooldown. Onto her active abilities. When it comes to magic, she switches out Aura for Apocalypse, so I guess Angelo only really needs 1 spell, oops. Apocalypse can be strengthened even further, but obviously the game doesn't think so. She also switches out Meteor for Meteor, which now does more dark damage. Passives. She now reduces the MP cost of her abilities by a whopping 80%, and she raises the damage modifier of Tornado and Quake. She also gets Wings, which gives her 500 extra magic, the chain damage boost, and her normal attack is changed to Meteor, like the literal active ability we just saw. She also gets her last Super Trustmaster rewards immunity to most status ailments, but you know, it really would have been cool if that elemental resistance was also applied. Onto her Limit Burst. It raises her magic by 400%, raises the damage modifier of her abilities, and applies a stored magic buff. Let's rank Brave abilities. I'd prioritize Awoken Sorceress's power for the extra passives, and then the other Meteor just raises its damage modifier. Time to make a damage rotation. I'll assume she's paired with Diabolos. On turn 1, quadruple cast either Quake or Tornado. Let's go with Quake. Keep doing this until you can summon an Esper, and call forth Diabolos. On the turn after that, switch forms. Cast I Can Fight If I'm With You, and triple cast Apocalypse. Next, use her Limit Burst. For the next 2 turns, quadruple cast Apocalypse. When you switch back, repeat the rotation, but make sure to switch forms when her Limit Burst is ready. So, EX2. At EX +2, Rinoa gets Warring Spirit. An instant Limit Burst is more helpful for Rinoa's base form than her Brave Shift, considering you have to wait for Diabolos if you're going for as much damage as possible. Her base form's Limit Burst self-chains and can be imbued, so there are definitely ways to make good use of it. At EX +3, she gets 500 magic, which has the cool cost of EX +3. So how good is Rinoa? She's a really strong magic damage dealer with a decent set of tools. Her greatest strength is her dark damage, with that field effect from Diabolos, her grandest and Limit Burst boss, and the power of Apocalypse. Of course, if dark doesn't work out, you can use Tornado and Quake, and though she lacks the amplification buff for those elements, she's still able to strengthen them through her Limit Burst anyways. 3 different elemental options is already very good, but Rinoa can also be imbued in her base form. Admittedly, Meteor isn't exactly as popular as Bolting Strike, and her self-chaining attacks aren't too powerful, so you generally benefit more from the chains rather than the damage. When it comes to support, Invincible Moon is a really desperate move. However, quadruple casting Aura can be really helpful if you need the Limit Burst crystals. Nevertheless, remember that she is a damage dealer, so you don't want to skimp on the support. Thanks for watching, and if you liked this video, leave a like and subscribe. Comment below if you plan to get Rinoa. In terms of dark damage, she faces steep competition with the premium unit whose banner will end at the same time as hers. And though she has Tornado and Quake, Quake isn't too popular either. But she does have Angelo, so really it's a pretty close call between the two.